are our thunderstorm clouds. All right, so I'm going to kind of just again go through each one, and I've got some pictures to show you too here in a minute. So as you're studying this in meteorology, feel free to go out there and show off your stuff and point to clouds and tell people what type of cloud that is, and be confident. I mean, they may not know if you're wrong or not. But stratus clouds would be those low-level flat clouds, and honestly, you're going to see a picture here in a minute that basically looks like fog. And so fog is fog, I've heard it described as a cloud at ground level. And so what type of cloud would that be? A stratus cloud. They form in relatively stable air. Stratocumulus, again, it has, you'll see, I have a picture here coming up, but there's a flatness to it, and then there's kind of a little bit of fluff. Cumulus, like I said, it starts relatively low, but it can have a little bit of vertical development to it. The air is generally unstable. We can kind of break cumulus clouds down into fair weather cumulus or cumulus congestus. Now, the fair weather cumulus are those kind of the fluffy clouds that sometimes we make pictures out of, and they're kind of isolated fluffy clouds, relatively low fluffy clouds, and they'll probably break up and there won't be any sort of precipitation come from them. Cumulus congestus might actually then develop into cumulonimbus clouds. So to show you some pictures, stratus clouds, looks like fog, doesn't it? This is stratocumulus. So these would be low level, flat with a little bit of cumulus to them. And these would be some of those fair weather cumulus clouds. Notice I kind of make sure I, again, remind you that even though I'm putting cumulus here as a low-level cloud, there will be possibly some vertical development where it goes into the middle. I wouldn't think the high, the region we generally associate with high clouds. So there's two types of precipitating clouds. There's nimbostratus, and this is one of our low-level clouds, flat low-level clouds. These are generally, when we talk about weather fronts, these are nimbostratus clouds are generally associated with warm fronts. Nimbostratus, when it rains, we're going to see that the precipitation from a nimbostratus cloud is nice and gentle and can last a long time. The precipitation associated with a cumulonimbus cloud, not so much. Cumulonimbus cloud precipitation is intense and short-lived in general. And here's some things about a cumulonimbus cloud, and we'll talk more about this when we talk about severe weather. On the figure just a little bit ago, you saw something we call an anvil, and the anvil, here's my cumulonimbus cloud. The anvil is this portion up here, and we say that the anvil points the direction that the storm is heading. Another kind of feature of feature that cumulonimbus clouds can have are mammatus. These are kind of like pouchy little things on the underneath side of the anvil. So we've talked about stability, and as you might imagine, we definitely have a fair bit of instability. That parcel of air that is actually that created that cumulonimbus cloud is very unstable. And as far as weather fronts, cumulonimbus clouds, one type of thing that can trigger thunderstorms actually is the passage of a cold front. Okay, so I put this to kind of remind you that if you printed out the slides, I have this slide with pictures marked clouds with vertical development, but I changed my mind, and actually these are my two types of precipitating clouds. So the two types of precipitating clouds must have the word NIMB in them of sorts. Nimbostratus, a low-level kind of a a chilled sort of precipitation event that lasts for a long time. And then cumulonimbus clouds also bring precipitation, and they are short precipitation events and more intense. Middle clouds, alto stratus. Of course, since it's a middle cloud, it has to have the word alto somewhere in there. Stratus meaning flat. So as I said before, this is the type of cloud that kind of give a watery appearance to either the sun or the moon. Stratus clouds tend to form in stable air. Alto cumulus, alto meaning middle, cumulus meaning fluffy, and these would have to have some sort of degree of instability associated with the atmosphere. And yeah. So here's our alto stratus. You kind of see the watery appearance of the sun. And alto cumulus. I have a slide coming up that kind of says if you have fluffy clouds, if you have cumulus, alto cumulus, and cirrocumulus, how are you supposed to know which is which? And one way I've been told is you kind of extend your arm, and if you extend your arm and cover up, if it only takes your pinky to cover up that cumulus cloud, then it's way up there and it's a cirrocumulus. If it takes like your, I think it's your thumb, then to cover up that cumulus, those puffs, then that must be a middle cloud, an alto cumulus. And if it takes your whole fist, then it must be kind of a fluffy low-level cloud we just call cumulus. So cirrocumulus, remember we have 3 high clouds. And the high clouds have kind of this prefix cirro, or S, at least C-I-R-R going on for it. So a cirrocumulus would be high and fluffy. And these are the ones that look like mackerel skies, fish scales sometimes, little cotton balls. Cirrostratus, these are ones that, because actually, we're going to see in chapter 16, they're so high up that they're so cold that they are, instead of liquid water, they are ice crystals. And because they're ice crystals, they can give us really kind of some neat things like sundogs and halos. So cirrostratus, cirro meaning high, stratus meaning layered. And then the highest of all of the 3 high, the high level clouds would be the cirrus clouds. And cirrus is a type of stratus cloud. And these are the ones that look like mare's tails. They look like horse tails. They're wispy. And here are some pictures of those 3 clouds. So cirrostratus, you can kind of see this halo around the sun. Isn't that pretty? Cirrocumulus, look like a mackerel sky, kind of little fish scales. Cirrocumulus, cumulus meaning fluffy. And don't these look like mare's tails, cirrus clouds? Very cool.